Once your child's gotten the hang of this receptive handover style drill, you can start to do expressive drills with your child. Now, when I first start doing expressive drills with a child, I generally want to use the images and the labels that my child has already mastered receptively. So in the previous receptive handover drill we were doing, we used the shoe, we used the bike, we used the hat. Now, at this point, I assume the child knows all of these labels receptively. So that's at the point where when I have them out in front of the child and I say, give me hat, give me shoe, give me bike, they're able to do that pretty accurately. Now, I would like to see if there is an expressive transfer of those labels. So with the labels that I know my child knows receptively, rather than have them placed out in front of the child and asking them to hand over or point to one of those labels, I'm instead going to have the labels that I want to test expressively in my hand, and you can do this with 3D objects, the 2D cards here, with any number of things that we did receptively, you can also do expressively. So there's the image of the shoe there, I would have that, and I would present this to Shelda, and rather than in the receptive drills where you say, give me blah, I'm going to say, what's this? Shoe. Great work, Shelda. Token. Now, when you first start transferring those receptive labels and testing them expressively with your child, they might struggle. So even though they might know the label really well receptively, due to a range of different issues, doing it expressively might be quite hard. Now, when you start off with a child who has limited expressive ability, you'd probably reinforce something a lot less than shoe. You'd reinforce sh or ooh, or whatever that child is able to give you. So let's say that Shelda, which would be tragic because her name starts with sh, can't say the sh sound yet. Now, that's very, very common. Sh is a sound that a lot of early learners take a while to develop. So her best attempt is going to be ooh. So when I say, what's this? She's going to say ooh. So it's, Shelda, what's this? Ooh. Good work, Shelda. Shoe. Give her a token. So you'll notice I reinforced her best attempt, but I really put an emphasis on modeling the word back to her correctly. If I do this consistently, that's going to help the child learn the label in its entirety of every object I present to her. Now, in the same way that we did big and small, you can do that receptively, you can do that expressively. So as you know, is this big or small? And the child can say big or small. You can do it with anything, what colors, what shapes, just like our receptive drills. You can do all of that expressively, and if your child can do something receptively and they have the ability to start moving towards it expressively, you should really encourage that transition because it's going to be great for your child's language development.
What's also good when you do it is you have some things that you know the child can say and knows really well, mixed in with some maybe they're not as good at. Don't have it all terrifically hard, otherwise it just becomes too hard for the child to even have a try, and you want to be able to reward the child for having a try.
Yeah, you don't want to make anything we're doing really so difficult that it becomes discouraging for the child. Now, because in a lot of receptive drills, you can help the child through by prompting them. You can do things that are a little bit out of your child's range and really push them towards it by helping them with physical prompts. It's very difficult to physically prompt your child to say something. It's one of those things where there is technique to do it, but it can be quite difficult. So you really do want some low-hanging fruit in these expressive drills, things you know they do well, mixed amongst some things that are tough.